My dear viewers, hello and welcome to special coverage that we are going to focus on the Egyptian-Russian relations in several fields. Well, President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi have received on Monday the Russian President's aide for maritime affairs, Nikolai Patrushev, who is also chairman of the Russian Maritime Navigation Council, and the accompanying delegation on boosting bilateral relations. To know more on this, we are joined over the phone with His Excellency Ambassador Gamal Bayoumy, former Assistant Foreign Minister. Until we get ready with the phone, the President have made the discussions with the aide of the U.S. President, Russian President Vladimir Putin, the President have hailed the growing momentum in Egypt's bilateral relations with Russia, notably in terms of trade and joint ventures such as El Dab'a nuclear plant and the Russian industrial area in the Suez Canal economic zone. The remarks came as the President received the Russian President aide Nikolai Patrushev, who is also chairman of the Russian Maritime Navigation Council, and the accompanying delegation. The meeting was attended by Minister of Transport Kamel El-Wazir, Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation and Egyptian expatriates Badr Abdrati, and the Presidential Advisor for National Security, Ambassador Faiza Abu Naga. The presidential spokesman, Mohammed Shinawi, said that President al-Sisi expressed high esteem of Egyptian-Russian strategic partnership and the appreciation of President Vladimir Putin. The Russian guests have conveyed President Putin's regards to President al-Sisi and said the visit as part of Russian interest in joint action with Egypt to activate their partnership and implement accords made during the reciprocal visits by the leaders of both countries. The meeting discussed both existing and proposed joint projects between Egypt and Russia and possible cooperation mainly in maritime navigation. The Russian official said that the Russian leadership highly praised President al-Sisi's efforts and Egyptian roles, expressing willingness to continue close coordination between both countries. And to shed more light on this, we have the pleasure to have with us over the phone our dear guest, His Excellency Ambassador Gamal Bayoumy, former Assistant Foreign Minister. Good evening, Your Excellency.
Good evening, how are you?
Your Excellency was shedding light on the Egyptian-Russian relations in light of the visiting top official, the Russia's Russian President's aide to, and he met with the President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi on Monday. And in light of this, the President have hailed the growing momentum in Egypt's bilateral relations with Russia, notably in terms of trade and other joint ventures. The President also raised examples of El Dab'a nuclear plant and also the Russian industrial area in the Suez Canal economic zone.
Yes, it is an old story. Our relation with Russian, when it was the Soviet Union, now it is the Russian Union, and they help us all the time in our industrial program. They helped us in our armament, also for our army. But they disagree with us twice during the time of Gamal Abdel Nasser and the time of President Sadat. They disagree with Nasser because he decided to join the General Agreement on Tariff and Trade, the World Trade Organization later, saying that it is an imperialistic organization. We joined the GATT in 1968, and they joined it in 2013 after Egypt by 43 years. This is always, I give this example, all those who disagree with Egypt, later on they follow the Egyptian way of dealing with the matter. Second time they disagree with President Sadat with his peace treaty, and now nobody can get half of the peace treaty get for Egypt. So also this is another point of disagreement.
Yes.
But anyway, we always mention the positive history, which is Aswan High Dam, which they helped us during that time. Now it is another mammoth project, which is the Baba project for energy, for nuclear energy, and it's huge. It will be one of the most important and biggest projects like in this term.
Yes.
Anyway, now we are restoring this sort of relation. The Russians were always a very important partner. We lost this position previously. Now we are gaining again the relation with all these parts of the world, whether it is Russia, Romania, Bulgaria, all these countries were a little bit freezed, the relation with them. Now we are getting back to be in a very good relation with all the countries of the world, and we are so happy about that. That I really, when we watch our diplomacy, we see that our president or our foreign minister can talk to any counterpart in the whole world without any exception. Not any country is missing having an embassy in Cairo. So this is the way, and I think we are restoring this very important relation with very important partner.
Yes. Your Excellency, Ambassador Bayoumy, also the Russian President Sisi's visit today with the Russian President Nikolai Patrushev have also discussed the cooperation between Egypt and Russia, the possible cooperation, and mainly in the maritime navigation. What are the expected outcomes of the projects in the field of maritime navigation?
Yes, this is very important also because in the Arab countries as a whole and Egypt, we concentrate on the services, and we have to take care of the transport ways industry. We have to give another look seriously to the food industry and the food agriculture projects, because we lack those two fields of development. We concentrate on services, tourism, hotels, and such things. But we lack generally in the Arab world, and especially in Egypt, to concentrate on the shipbuilding, car building, and then the food security. We should do much better than we are doing now.
Yes. Your Excellency, how do you assess the close coordination between Egypt and Russia over the several regional and international issues of common interest? How is Egypt and Russia have the same point of views or the same stance concerning some regional issues?
Yes, we used to have the Russian as very good partner and supporter to all our issues, especially the Palestinian question. And they were good supporter of Palestine and the Palestinian PLO, and they recognize the PLO. They have very good relations. They had very good relations with Yasser Arafat and now with successors. So they used to support our cases in our region, and unfortunately, our region is not in its very good health.
Yes, actually also the trade between Egypt and Russia, as we know, Russia is exporting, and Egypt is exporting to Russia tons and tons of fruits and vegetables from Egypt, especially on top of which is the orange. Of course, tons of orange is going from Egypt, is going to Russia. Also, Egypt is importing from Russia wheat and other commodities. How do you see this kind of trade despite the far distance between the two countries?
Yes, this is a very important sector also, and we used to import our wheat from Russia and such countries like that. The distance is nowadays is not that problem. And we used to have Russia and even the European Union, because Egypt became the largest exporter of oranges and citrus, of olives and of potatoes. We are the largest exporter of potatoes all to the whole world. So they are good clients, and they have a huge market for our commodities. And we depend on them also to supply us with wheat and cereals. And now we have this mammoth project of energy also in Doha.
Yes. Back to the political side. In light of the visit by Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi to Russia today, and meeting with his Russian counterpart Vladimir and the President of Russia Vladimir Putin, how do you see also the role played by Russia in cooperation, of course, and coordination with Egypt, and appreciating Egypt's role in trying to find a break out to the Iranian crisis, the U.S.-Israel war on Iran?
This is what many countries are trying to do, especially Egypt, because, as I said, we are a country which has very good relation with all the countries of the whole world, so we can talk to everybody. And we are encouraging Iran and the United States to sit on the negotiation table in order to stop this civil war. I don't see really any serious reason for this war. They claim, the Americans, that Iran is going to produce nuclear bomb. Why they close their eyes, and their alliance Israel has 300 heads of nuclear bombs. They don't open a mouth about that for such a silly approach. So we try now to bring all the parties, and I don't think that there is something which is impossible to bring them to peace negotiations. And I am here in this specific point optimistic. With the problem that we have a Prime Minister of Israel, which he is personally in favor of continuing the war, because if the war stops, he will go to jail. He is condemned by the international law and condemned in his country also. But with a prime minister like that, you cannot be optimistic about the future of peace. But let us try. Russia is a very good partner. Egypt is doing its best. And the good thing that we have many countries who believe that Egypt can do it.
Yes, yes, and also in the field of culture, there is exchange of in the fields of culture and education, especially through the art and culture between Egypt and Russia, as we all know, also through the cultural center here in Cairo, the Russian culture, one of the very active actually cultural centers here in Egypt, in Cairo. The same there in Russia. The exchange in the field of culture and art, and also on the side of the opera and the performance and the ballet art, music. Give us an idea about the importance of this. Culture usually bridges the gap between countries, and it's a bridge that the people of both countries are crossing to each other and getting closer.
Yes, this is true. And I was just telling on my Facebook page this morning about the Russian ballet, where I have seen it in our opera playing one of their very famous piece of ballet. And it's not only culture, it's also education, and we have hundreds of Egyptians studying in Russia. We have many, many experts of Russians working for Egypt. During that time, they reach thousands of experts. So why don't we restore this position and benefit from this very deep and wide relation between the two countries in those two fields, education and culture, also in many fields.
Yes. Also, the coordination that is taking place between Egypt and Russia concerning Libya, Sudan, the Palestinian territories, Syria. How do you see the stances of both of the coordination and cooperation between Egypt and Russia concerning regional issues?
Yes, it's not secret that the whole Arab world is not in good health. Many Arab countries are not in good situation. As you rightly said, in Libya, they are divided in two parties. Syria is occupied by 5 different armies. Lebanon is attacked all the time by Israel. And they have the problem of Hezbollah, which is making a state within the state. Sudan is already divided. And so Sudan is facing a serious problem. Yemen is not in good health. Somalia is also divided between two parties. So we need every power and every country who deal with the Arab world to help us in order to bring peace to all those countries again, and to restore the strength of the Arab world, which is not in very good health nowadays.
Yes. Your Excellency, Ambassador Bayoumy, you were the president of the Arab Investments Union. Concerning investment and its importance for Egypt and the size of investment between Egypt and Russia.
Yes, we succeed lately to present Egypt not a country which needs a sort of economic assistance, but a country which has very good opportunity for those who want to cooperate with us to benefit from our situation. Because Egypt has several free trade areas. First with the Arab world, GAFTA, Great Arab Free Trade Area, with the African Union. We have now a huge free trade area of 51 countries. 1,200 million inhabitants in Africa, with, of course, and the famous agreement between Egypt and Europe, the European Union, the association agreement between Egypt and Europe. So as a matter of fact, we are inviting investors to come to Egypt, not for the small, relatively small market of Egypt with 100 million inhabitants. No, we are open to 2,000 million inhabitants in all these dimensions, the Arabs, Africa, and Europe. So the one who is going to produce in Egypt a sort of Egyptian product, he can export it to this huge market of 2,000 million inhabitants.
Yes.
And this is how we are marketing for Egypt. We hope that Russia will come to invest in the Suez Canal area, like China now is also thinking to do the same. And many, many countries are trying to come to take benefits of the position of Egypt.
Yes, the investment taking place between Egypt and Russia, how is this providing coordination, cooperation, exchange of experience and expertise, and exchange of point of views, and providing job opportunities in both sides?
Yes, it comes now to a much better situation, but to be frank with our audience, it is good but not good enough. We have all the opportunity to double what is happening, whether the volume of trade, the volume of investment, the volume of exchange, experts and experience.
Yes. Also, what are we expecting from the cooperation between both countries, Russia and Egypt, in the fields of also education, energy, culture, importing and exporting, trade in general? Your expectations for signed agreements and partnership that is already there?
Concerning energy, we have very good two experiences, which is Aswan High Dam, which we are proud of it, and now we have El Dab'a nuclear energy project, which is really a very good example of this cooperation. And from there, we have then a stand from jump to better and better and much bigger cooperation in the near future.
Yes, I thank you very much for your time. Thank you for your valuable information. Your Excellency Ambassador Gamal Bayoumy, former Assistant Foreign Minister. We really have the honor to have this phono with you. And with this, my dear viewers, we come to the end of our special coverage for the hour. The French transmission takes over within minutes. My name is Amal Mukhtar. Thank you for watching.